Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing an eyeshadow declutter. So this is all of my eyeshadow palettes, whether they are 2 or more. Everything is in this pile and I have all the singles separated. So when you're going to do a declutter, I think there's a lot of things that can be overwhelming, and for me, I'm just trying to figure out what is the purpose of this declutter. Now I think there's a lot of people that do a lot of decluttering on YouTube, and a lot of people have different reasons for decluttering. Some people want to be minimalistic, which means they only want to have 3 or 4 eyeshadow palettes. Some people just want to get rid of old stuff. Some people are really harsh with their decluttering, and if they have anything similar at all, get rid of it. And some people will go through this and only pick out 2 items. So I don't think there's a right way and a wrong way to declutter, and sometimes when I've done my other declutter videos in the past, people will say you hardly got rid of anything. If they're products that you're using and you love, then I don't think there's a problem with keeping them. But I do want to get rid of things that are old, things that are not being used, and if I feel like I've got a lot of redundancy, then I might get rid of some of those. But I'm not necessarily just trying to have a certain number of palettes. I'm not decluttering just so I only have 5 makeup palettes. That's not my purpose. I just want to make sure that I'm moving stuff out of my collection that isn't being used, so that way as I do purchase new things to review on my channel or whatnot, that I always have fresh things to use. So that's kind of my reasoning behind this. So there's obviously a lot here. I'm going to make a little space to work with. I'm going to swatch some things, and there are some things that I know that I'm going to get rid of, so we'll just go ahead and jump on in. Okay, this is the biggest palette, so I'll start with this. This is my Mi Vida Loca palette. I got this for Christmas. I love this palette. I definitely want to keep this. I feel like it has a bunch of neutrals, and with that new Serpentine palette that's come out, I feel like I can get similar looks using this palette because it really has every color you'd ever want, and this is my only Kat Von D palette, so I'm definitely going to keep this. Okay, next I have this little NYX smoky look. I got this in an Ipsy bag. It just has some brown neutrals in it, nothing super exciting. And then, oh, well, that just broke. And some lip glosses down here, which I tried, but really just came off super, super sheer, and nothing really exciting about this. So this I am going to pass on. And first I'm going to take this to my family. I have an niece who's 17, and then if there's other things that are still good and aren't expired or need to be thrown out, then I can find a place to donate them to people who would like them. So that's what I'm going to be doing with this one. I have 1, 2, 3 big Mirabella palettes. I do like all of these palettes, and actually, since I haven't really been doing a project palette lately, I have been using these, and I really like the pigmentation. I really like the shadows, so these are all going to be keeps. Now this is a Mirabella palette that just has some random shadows in it, and honestly I think I can get rid of all of these shadows. None of these are shadows I ever reach for. This could be a great just empty palette to travel with, to pop some other shades in. I think this is a pretty universal size. I think I could fit Makeup Geek if I had any. I don't have any, but I bet it'd be the same size pan or MAC shadows in here. So I'm gonna pop these all out and just get rid of them because they're not being used. All right, I have 2 e.l.f. Prism eyeshadows, and I have 1 matte eyeshadow from e.l.f. and the Need It Nude. I really like these prisms. I feel like these do have really pretty pigmentation to them. And these 2, I feel like I could probably create every look that I could with this between this prism palette and this matte palette. I've got naked palettes and other things that I'll probably be keeping, well, I will be keeping. So I think I'm going to pass this on. This is a great little neutral palette for someone that is just starting into makeup, and I've liked it and I've used it, but it's not something I'm reaching for right now. So I think I'm going to pass this along. And these 3 I am going to keep, although they do need a little bit of bath. So I do have some micellar water here so I can wipe off swatches, and also for these that get all grungy, I can just, you know, multitask, get them cleaned up a little bit while I am decluttering. Yay! Because if you're like me, like makeup just even sitting in a drawer somehow when you're grabbing things, you're getting ready, tends to get a little dirty. So, alrighty. So I have my 3 Naked palettes. Naked 1, Naked 2, Naked 3. I love all of these. So these are all going to be keeps. All right, my Balm Jovi palette. This I just did a project palette on, loved that. Chocolate Bar is one of my favorites. Chocolate Bonbon is a fairly new palette. I got that this year. So these are all gonna be keeps as well. Love these. All right, I have 2 of these Makeover Essentials. I got these for Christmas from a friend of mine, and I honestly haven't used them, so I feel bad decluttering them before I've used them. This one I think has more options than this one. I don't feel like I really need both. This one is pretty much untouched, so I think I'm going to keep this one and use it as like a, keep it in a makeup bag or something like that, because you really have everything you would need in there, and it has a really big, nice mirror. So I do want to give this a try. I've just been trying so many other things, I haven't done that. But I think this little one, I'm gonna pass along. I'm not getting any use out of it, and I think between the 2, I would definitely reach for this one instead. So we will move this one out. All right, so I got these 2 palettes from Shop Miss A, and I am going to get rid of both of them. They have brighter colors in this one. They're not horrible. This one's pretty decent for the price, but again, I just don't find that I'm going to be reaching for them at all, so I don't really find a purpose in keeping them, and they're not something that people are gonna really want me to do looks from, because they're like kind of not popular palettes, I guess. So I think I'm gonna get rid of both of these. All right, this Urban Decay Shadow Box, I did a project pan on this last year, and I feel like I've kind of gotten all the use I want to get out of this. It's really dirty and gross, and I think I'm ready to let it go. Okay, my Smashbox palette. I love this palette. It does get a little dirty because these shadows tend to be a little bit powdery, but it doesn't really bother me too much because I love the pigmentation of them. And I've got these blushes in here. So this is definitely a keep. I really enjoy this palette. And I also really enjoy my other Smashbox palette, which is on the rocks. This one was called the Wonder Vision. These are both holiday ones. And yeah, just for the pigmentation and the quality of these are just beautiful, and yeah, definitely happy with keeping these. All right, I have these 2 Au Naturel palettes. I know for sure I want to keep this one. I actually really, really like this one. Even though it's similar to this one, I like these to have drugstore options, and these are good quality, so I wanna keep both of these. This one, I don't know. I feel like it's really close to the Need It Nude palette, which I am already getting rid of. I mean, these are both kind of dupes for the Naked 1 palette, which I am going to keep. I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile. I don't know. It's very pretty. I did a video where I did half high-end, half drugstore. I mean, the shadows are super pigmented. And the price is so good. This is only $5. I think I'm gonna keep it for now, and then I'll just see how I feel about it, and yeah, go from there. Okay, this Lorac palette I'm gonna get rid of. Even though it's a higher end palette, I feel like this Au Naturel palette, to me, this has, I don't know, better pigmentation almost. I don't know. This just never really wowed me too much. So I'm going to get rit of the Lorac. My little baby that's still in the box, my Modern Renaissance palette. I just got this, so of course I'm keeping that. Tarte Lip Tease, love this little palette. That's a great traveling palette. This is another hard one. So I've been using this palette recently, just getting a taste of it. My issue with the palette is that all of these colors over here tend to be so similar. I mean, there are a few shades that are really pretty, but I don't know that they aren't shades that I already have. Between the two of these, I definitely like this one better, so I'm definitely going to keep this one. This one I think I might just pass on. It has pretty colors and I like it. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get enough use out of it to keep it. I just feel like there's not enough variety, and that's my main issue, is that these browns all kind of come off the same. These neutrals kind of come off the same, so I think I'm going to pass this one on. This is another neutral palette. Again, these are really pretty. They are pigmented. I do like this burgundy color. My issue with this is, I mean, I look at my makeup probably a little differently than most people look at it, because I want things that are, if I don't love them, I want things that are current. Obviously, I'm going to have more makeup than the average person. Obviously, a normal person probably, I mean, maybe you do, but like, you don't need to have this much makeup. But with doing my videos and stuff, I just don't know that I'm going to reach for this for a video, and I haven't used it in a long time, so I think I'm going to pass it along. Okay, this little eyeshadow, this is a MAC one, and I used this the other day, and I actually really enjoy this in the fall, so I'm going to keep this. This Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells, it's just such a classic. I think everyone should own this. It's so cheap, and the colors are beautiful, so I think that's a good little one to keep. Oh, this is another palette that I have been so torn on. This is why I put a sheet down. See, I'm getting makeup everywhere. I don't want that on my carpet. This palette is really pretty. I got this at Express, and I was so happy because I got it for $15, and I didn't even know Express had makeup, and I was just like swatching it, and I was really excited. I haven't used it a lot, but I think I want to give it another try. It has some pretty colors in here, especially these purples, before I get rid of it, so I think I'm going to keep this. All right, Vice 4, definitely want to keep this. Love this palette, and I have had this forever. This is one of the palettes I used for duping things a long time ago, and I never reach for this. It's broken. I don't ever see a day where I'm like, ooh, let me pull this out, you know? So I think I'm gonna get rid of this. All right, guys, so I completely forgot about this. This is my Tarte palette, and I am going to keep this, but I'm actually going to depot it, and I have a little Z palette to do so, and I'm going to depot these blushes and just take these lip glosses out because they're never going to get used if they're in here. I don't know that I've even really used these. So I forgot that this was on top of a shelf in it because it's so big, it's kind of out of the way, and I forgot, so I just wanted to let you know this is also in the keep. All right, guys, more pregnancy brain. I have these two palettes here. This is a nice little travel palette. It's a Too Faced palette. And I just used this the other day. And I do have this little LA Colors palette. And I did like this for my Shop Miss A. So I'm going to keep both of these. So recap, I'm getting rid of the e.l.f. palette, the Love and Beauty palette, the Makeup Revolution palette, the Lorac palette, the e.l.f. Need It Nude, this little Makeover Essentials, this Urban Decay palette, these two from Clean Color, oh, this one from Clean Color, this from Giove from Shop Miss A, this little NYX palette, and these, I'm going to keep the case, but I'm going to get rid of the shadows that are in here. So that is everything that I'm getting rid of. I actually feel good about that. I feel like these are things that I'm not using, and the only one I'm kind of hesitant about is this Makeup Revolution one. Alright, so these are all the going away. So the palettes I am keeping are my Vice palette, or Vice 3, Vice 4, what is this? I'm pretty sure this is Vice 3. I'm keeping this one, keeping this Express palette. I'm keeping my MAC palette, my Walking on Eggshells trio, my Makeup Revolution palette, Tartelette Tease, Modern Renaissance, Smashbox, my two Au Naturel palettes, and my CoverGirl Roses palette. I'm keeping one of the Makeover Essentials, keeping my Balm Jovi, my two Too Faced Chocolate Bar palettes, my 3 Naked palettes, the 2 Prism palettes from e.l.f. and my Mad for Matte, my 3 Mirabella palettes, and my Mavita Loca. So obviously I'm keeping way more than I'm giving up, but I didn't, like I said earlier, have the intent of this is not just to get rid of half or anything. I just want to make sure what I have are things that I'm using. So that is everything for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this declutter, and I will see you guys next time with another decluttering video. Bye! I loved how delicate this is because I figured it's something that I could layer with other pieces. Like I could just wear that every day, or you could have like a longer dangle or like initial or something. Like it just looked so universal. Like I could wear it with pretty much anything, especially if you're not someone that likes really big out there pieces like that last piece.